Here we go from the Hollywood Reporter. Chris Evans' Captain America wasn't expected to save us. So why is Anthony Mackie's? Alan, if you would bring up the story and read it to us here.
Okay, I should warn you, this is kind of an opinion piece. So if you want to stop and discuss things, we can.
Yeah, let's do that.
There are a few interesting points this writer brings up. Captain America Brave New World has drawn a divided response from critics and general audiences. And given how divided America is right now, the question concerning what the American dream even means today, it's both fitting and frustrating. While the film certainly has its share of structural and technical wrinkles that can't be smoothed over, a significant part of the division comes down to expectations. And just as it was in the comics, segueing from Steve Rogers to Sam Wilson doesn't come without controversy. With America facing historic levels of corruption, apathy, and greed, while civil, social, gender, immigration, and education rights are being dismantled by the day, nobody seems to know what to do. Our elected officials won't save us, the wealthy won't save us, and white Americans who hold the vast majority of voting power in the country certainly didn't save us. So it's somewhat ironic, given the conversation surrounding Brave New World and these movies, many have viewed as mere escapism, that there is now a call for superheroes to save us, to call us to action. But it's not any superhero who needs to save us, who needs to save us, who needs to confront America as it exists now. It's the black one. Several conversations I've seen online and taken part in person have questioned whether Brave New World does enough in terms of taking a side. Is Sam Wilson progressive enough and aggressive enough? Does he make a clear enough political statement in 2025? Or does he simply straddle the line as opposed to attempting to fix a fundamentally broken system led by a fundamentally broken president? Has Captain America been politically neutered? I'd argue that he hasn't, and despite the film's production problems, which I'm not denying, the depiction of Captain America isn't one of them. Sam Wilson simply doesn't fulfill white liberal fantasies through black work. There's more. Do you want to say anything about that up to this point?
There's a video that relates to this. I'll show it in a second. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that he's overreacting to. I think most people like Sam Wilson as Falcon, and they do not like Sam Wilson as Cap. Didn't work in the comics, didn't work in the Falcon and Winter Soldier Disney Plus show, and it did not work in the movie. We don't need an origin of Falcon, but we need to know how he could possibly earn it, rather than here's the shield. The shield isn't a badge like a sheriff in a Western town. It's like, all right, now you're the sheriff. It's not that. It's something more than that.
But it is. I mean, that's how it's portrayed in the movies, as a badge.
Yes, but we know that that's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I mean, but look at the way, I'll go back to this, but look at the way they're promoting the film here. Look at this. It's #1 movie in the world.
Well, the #1 movie in the world. Suit up.
What, you mean like right now?
Yeah.
Captain America Brave New World must be seen on the biggest screen possible.
You want me? Come and get me!
Captain America Brave New World, rated PG-13.
Well, what'd you think, Alan?
Yeah. Well, it was #1 in the world.
I'm pretty sure that was done before the movie came out. I mean, look, I think it'll be #1 this weekend as well.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think Marvel is afraid to define Captain America, especially in this time. What does it mean to be Captain America? Mm-hmm. Is it even worthy? Ironically, he talked about it on his press tour, but having America in his title, that is a divisive question. And I think the point of, I think the author here will make it even more clear, but what, is there any value in being called Captain America? What are
Right.
the values? What is it? What are the values behind that? Captain America is not just a guy with powers, or in this case, powers in a suit. It doesn't matter what Anthony or what Falcon's powers were. There should have been some kind of statement to say that this is what Captain America stands for, especially within the context of America today. And I think Marvel shied away from that, and by doing that, they sort of weakened it. And you kind of wish they did take a position in some way, whether he was going to be super patriotic or super anti-American. At least we would have had something more exciting to talk about than just a guy with powers who saved the day. Because I think you could say that about all three original Captain America movies, that there was something America in it. It was a statement about patriotism. It was a statement about the flaws that America has, especially political flaws, and address these things, whether you agreed with them. Civil War is that example of, you're allowed to take both sides. You're allowed to take one side or the other, whether you're with Cap or with Iron Man. Because there were issues about, having powers and whether you should register. Those are things worthy of talking about. This movie just was devoid of it. And I think the issue above all is the fact that now you made Captain America a black man. Now it felt like you can't make a decision at all or take a position at all.
Finish this. We paused it. Keep going. I'll be right back. I can hear you.
Okay. So there was a time when I believed that if our superhero culture could reach the current moment, and if those projects did more, we could do more. For a moment, I thought we were seeing it in our comics and movies, a commitment to radical empathy, inclusivity, and justice. But that was just another mask. Corporations and people pretending to care and understand justice, only for it to all be dropped the moment the next administration permitted them to. And Disney, the distributor of the very movie I'm discussing, is just as guilty. So please do not convince yourself that my thoughts on Brave New World are in any way a defense of the corporation, which I believe couldn't care less about black people. Rather, my interest is in the creatives behind the movie, the director Julius Ona, and the writers and actors, and what they attempted to do with the film, even if some aspects were more successful than others. The stage for a black Captain America was already set with the miniseries of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was devoted to the controversies and battles Sam Wilson would have to face as a black man taking up the shield. While that series, which greatly benefits from having more time to explore its ideas, was better received than Brave New World, it was also not without its criticism directed at Sam's role standing in for an America that he never loved, that has never loved black people as much as we love it. Sam's speech is the series finale of the series, in which he says, "The only power I have is that I believe we can do better." Sam shared a similar insight a decade ago in Sam Wilson, Captain America #2 by Nick Spencer and Daniel Acuna. Steve Rogers believes that when the chips are down and when its values are at stake, his country will do right. And me, in my heart, I can only hope it will. Despite that belief and hope inherent in Sam's character, some critics of the show found Sam's speech overly optimistic or even naive. Some even took issue with the forgotten Captain America, Isaiah Bradley, finding it unrealistic that he was moved by both Sam taking up the shield and by the Smithsonian tribute to him and his troops' contribution to the Korean War, and the acknowledgement that they were held against their will and experimented on. You want to talk about that?
A couple things. One, the writer is correct. Corporations don't care about black people.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. Disney doesn't. They only care about how they look, how they appear publicly. But we are going to get to all the best chat comments, but this one relates. Andy makes Star Wars. Here's a question. Could Sam, aka Falcon, pick up Thor's hammer.
Mhm.
I think that is so key to Steve Rogers' character that he could wield Thor's hammer. He's worthy. That says something. I don't know about Sam. We don't know him well enough. I'm not saying it's not possible, but we don't know him well enough. That's the key. What do you think about that comment? I think it's a very smart comment.
It's a great question. I
Yeah,
think
yeah. You're asking that question because we don't know who he is.
Mhm.
I've said it every time we talk about this movie. I say the same thing. This one comment.
Yeah,
we don't know who Sam Wilson is.
I'll tell you this: if let's just say Mjolnir was laying around while he was battling the Hulk, it would have been written that Sam could have picked it up.
It probably would.
Yeah, but that's the issue of the writing and the fact that they don't understand the character and that they wouldn't understand what it meant to be able to wield Mjolnir and why Captain America, when he held it, it made sense, which got the audience excited, which it did. I just don't think you're going to get that same reaction if Sam Wilson had actually picked it up at the end of Brave New World.
That's such a great moment from Age of Ultron when,
It wiggles. It wiggles.
Budges it, and it everybody kind of freaks out. Like it's
it's worse than that. It's no one. Hold on, no one saw it except Thor, and the look on Thor's face when it wiggled when he grabbed it was priceless.
No, and then it paid off, later, obviously in Endgame. So, yeah, I just, again, the premise of the movie is the thing that's flawed. The lack of defining who Sam Wilson is. Rob Burnett, when he was on Versus on Monday, said, why didn't they show kind of maybe a flashback with, him becoming part of this elite force that flies with the military wings, like who Sam is. We got to see who Cap is as Steve Rogers, a young Steve Rogers, and we still don't know who Sam Wilson is. Therefore, his character is what makes him inside as a character worthy of the Cap mantle. That story can be told, but they failed to do it in both the series and this movie. Final thoughts will go to comments.
Yeah, because the writer here, the implication is, it's all about Sam being black. Let's be real. And
well, they by the way, they made it all about Sam being black in the series.
Right. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The fact that Sam Wilson with the Avengers saved the universe still couldn't get a boat loan.
It's ridiculous. All the Avengers would be so famous. They would get brand deals. It would be like, it would be crazy.
No, they would have bought him a new boat. Let's just put it that way. But at the same time, it's an interesting. Let's go back to Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV series. It would have been interesting to tell a story of, can a black man become Captain America? There's ways to tell that story that could be inspiring, could be non-woke, and could say a lot. But because we're in this, the beginnings of woke Marvel, they handled that question all wrong, to the point where it just, to ask the question now seems racist. And weirdly enough, race didn't play an issue at all in Brave New World. So apparently he got the boat loan. Congratulations, Sam. And the other thing was the way they talked to him. The way they referred to him as Cap. Even Thunderbolt Ross, just, hey Cap, how you doing? There was the leap from the racial issues of Falcon and the Winter Soldier seemed to have just disappeared when it came to Brave New World. And it just, to me, we don't want a woke Brave New World, but at the same time, it feels disjointed from that. And it just means that Marvel, and going back to this entire conversation we're having, Marvel is in constant fix-it mode. Ever since
they are.
No, they
have been.
Yeah, for Phase 5, they broke it, and now Phase 6, they're fixing it. and they're not doing a good job about it, and they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars to fix it. And what's happening is we're getting disjointed stories, so disjointed that we don't even know where Avengers is headed, because at least with the first Avengers, the Infinity War and Endgame, the fact that they were collecting the Infinity Stones along the way gave us a direction, and we knew where we were ultimately headed. Have no clue. I don't even know what Fantastic Four is going to be about. That leads into all this. So, they're in fix-it mode, definitely.
It would be weird if you started dressing like me and you got your hair and you made it sort of silvery gray, sort of sexy silver, and started putting it up like Jimmy Neutron, like my weird haircut. And then you started wearing you took up the mantle of me. It would be weird. And that's why I think it's weird with Sam. It's like, I'm going to get the Shield dressed like Cap, and I'm going to be Cap now. It doesn't work. Just like you with my hair would look terrible. Don't meme that, by the way. Do not meme Alan trying to dress like me. It would be weird if Alan took up the mantle of myself. Just like I think it's weird for Falcon to try to be Cap. It's like when someone copies your fashion style, do your own thing. Yeah.
It's interesting, but no one lives up to their costume. Their costume is a reflection of who they are.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Sam Wilson, where this Captain America is failing, is because in both the series and in the movie, he's trying to live up to his costume. And that's horrible storytelling. That's uninteresting storytelling. And it's storytelling that's going to get you in trouble.